All new at 3, employers are avoiding hiring Gen Z. Last month, Intelligent.com surveyed hundreds of managers around the country. More than half of managers said Gen Z is unprepared for the workforce, and 38% avoid hiring recent grads. And get this, 1 in 5 employers say a college grad brought a parent along to their job interview. So joining me now is Joel Patterson, founder of the Vested Group, a consulting group. Joel, brought a parent to a job interview? What is going on here?
Yeah, I'm struggling with that one. I've never seen that personally, but 20% of the people that were surveyed said that. So I'm assuming they're not lying. It's a little bit unique, and I wouldn't recommend people doing that when they are in an interview.
I have had my parents drive me to the interview, but they never came into the building with me, and that actually happened right here. Okay, so let's talk about this generation. Why are they ill prepared for the workforce, and what's being done to help them along?
Well, you hate to stereotype an entire generation, so I'm not going to do that. But you look at the things that are referred to in this survey, and a lot of it is just soft skills. They're not necessarily getting what they need in college about how do you interview, or what is the etiquette in the office? When should I communicate something versus not? Or how should I dress for an interview? And it's really working against them because right out of the gate, they come in, they sit down, that maybe their hair is unkempt or they're just not dressed the way that they should be. And it's really not like they have a long way to go to improve this.
Mhm.
It's just some really basic blocking and tackling activities that will put them in a better situation and allow them to find a job that they really enjoy.
We're talking about a lot of our recent grads. So are these kids that are kind of caught up in the COVID years, maybe had limited social interaction, didn't get that first job experience?
I think that's a huge part of it. That they were home for a year. They weren't necessarily practicing their social skills, and all of a sudden they find themselves back at school or back in a social situation. I mean, I have kids that have gone through the same things where you got to exercise that muscle in order for it to improve, and it just hasn't done that over the last few years. And yeah, that in addition to being digital natives, I think that makes a big
Yeah.
difference in how they get information and how they communicate with people in general.
Which makes them a beneficial person in the workplace to be able to utilize digital the way a lot of us maybe had to learn as we grew up into it. They grew up with it. Tell me about what we can do to better prepare our recent grads as we just graduated our December grads. May is right around the corner. How can we help them?
I think the biggest thing, well, two ways. One is going to in colleges, they need to teach some of those softer skills to prepare them. How do you interview? What is the business etiquette? The other thing is employers. When you're bringing in Gen Z employees or newer employees to the workforce, you're going to have to invest a little bit more. There is a bit of a trend to look at older workers because of this. The ramp time might be a little bit longer. It doesn't mean that they're not great employees long term. I mean, there's rough apples in every generation. There's a lot of value, a lot of really smart people running around. It's just a matter of maybe realigning your expectations just a little bit.
So employers are looking to get they're, I guess, passing up some of these recent grads to go for the more experienced workers?
They are, and they're additionally they're willing to pay more for that too. I mean, they're
Oh.
for exactly the reasons I was just saying.
Mm.
If you think about how much it costs to invest in a brand new employee who may or may not work out, in the long run, it might be cheaper to pay a more seasoned employee just a little bit more money in order to have that stability.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Joel Patterson, founder of the Vested Group. We wish our generation, and you're right, we hate to dub a whole generation, but we wish them well. We want to get them those soft skills that they can, exceed and have great success. Joel, thank you so much for this time today.